All right, today we're jumping right into the mind of one of the most strategic and, let's be honest, complex personality types out there, the INTJ. You might know them as the architect. We're going to take a look at the blueprint of their mind and really figure out what makes them tick.
In this quote, wow, this is the perfect way to start. It just nails the core of the INTJ mindset, doesn't it? For them, life isn't just a bunch of random stuff happening. No way. It's a massive, strategic game, and you better believe they're planning to win it.
So, to really understand this strategic mind, we need to start with what everyone else sees on the outside. Let's call it the architect's blueprint.
And architect isn't just some catchy label. It is spot on. They are constantly designing and building complex systems. And I'm not just talking about their jobs. I mean, this applies to every part of their lives.
But here's where it gets really fascinating. This whole master planner thing isn't just for big, lofty goals. Nope. It seeps into their day-to-day life, influencing even the most basic, routine things you can think of.
I mean, just look at this. Making a cup of coffee. For most of us, that's a half-asleep stumble to the kitchen, right? But for an INTJ, it can become a full-blown scientific experiment. Every single step is a variable to be controlled, all to achieve the most perfect, most efficient cup of coffee possible. It's kind of amazing and, let's be real, a little intimidating too.
Or think about planning a trip. While a lot of people are all about spontaneity, let's just go and see what happens. For an INTJ, that sounds like an actual nightmare. They find comfort and success in a perfectly optimized itinerary, usually with backup plans for their backup plans. For them, it's about designing a reality that's just better and more predictable.
This really gives you a peek into their internal operating system. See, for an INTJ, rules aren't meant for blind obedience. They're suggestions, really, guidelines that can and should be improved upon. They hate pointless routines. They just see them as roadblocks. Success is the ultimate goal, and creativity? That's just a very practical tool to help them get there.
Okay, so we've got a handle on how they approach tasks. But what about people? How do they navigate the messy, often illogical world of social interactions? Let's peel back another layer and see how the architect tries to solve the social equation.
This chart says it all, really. An INTJ's social battery is super specific. A deep, meaningful conversation can leave them feeling totally charged up. But small talk, look at that. It drains them down to almost zero. It's like a literal power drain for them.
And here's the thing. It's not just a matter of not liking it. It's about purpose. From their point of view, small talk is just an inefficient exchange of information with no clear goal. So in their mind, why even bother?
So their social algorithm, if you will, is pretty unique. Their sense of humor is often really dry and sarcastic, like a special code that only a few people will get. They don't need a huge crowd. They'd much rather have a small, curated circle of people they can really connect with. And funny enough, they often show they care by quietly solving your problems before you even knew you had them.
So what's fueling this whole complex system of logic and planning and social calculation? Well, if we dig down deep, we get to their core motivation, an absolutely insatiable thirst for knowledge.
Oh yeah, they are proud bookworms, total information hoarders, and absolute lifelong learners. And for them, it's not really about power. It's about the genuine joy and fascination they get from just knowing things.
And this brings us to a huge concept for them, mastery. For an INTJ, real happiness isn't about simple pleasures. It's about that intense process of diving into a brand new subject and just completely understanding it, inside and out. And when they find that new topic, that new obsession, this is the level of focus we're talking about. 100%, all in. The rest of the world can pretty much just wait.
Okay, so we've looked at the strategic mind, the social algorithm, that crazy thirst for knowledge, but now we're getting to the very core of the INTJ. We're at the final and maybe the most surprising layer of all.
We have established this, right? The constant planning, the cold logic, the idea that every move on the big chessboard of life is calculated. It all seems so rational, so cool and detached.
But here's the big reveal. Underneath all those layers of logic and grand strategy, there's a deeply emotional world. That whole rational framework, it's not a cold, unfeeling computer program. It's armor. It's a carefully built system designed to protect something incredibly sensitive inside. The chess game is still being played, for sure, but the player is definitely not a machine.
Which leaves us with one final thing to think about. With all their intense planning and their intricate systems, is the architect just building a fortress to keep the chaotic world out? Or are they actually trying to build a sanctuary, a perfectly designed space where the people and ideas they truly care about can be safe and thrive? That's something to chew on.